Star Showdown one more time. The fight song at Texas A&M says goodbye to Texas University. Texas Fight says goodbye to A&M, and tonight it's more than a lyrical attempt at disdain for a rival. It's goodbye. The closing chapter of a great rivalry. Who knows when the paths will cross again? So you can gig them or you can hook them, but you're going to have to separate them, because at this moment it appears that one of the great traditions in college football, we're kissing it goodbye. The ultimate impossible mission, it seems lately, is keeping Texas and Texas A&M together on the playing field and trying to get them to agree on just about anything. Senior night here at Kyle Field. The Yell leaders are out. This rivalry is steeped in tradition, as you see Bevo in the waiting to see this last chapter of the great rivalry. Monday night in Austin, the Hex Rally. For 70 years, on the advice of a soothsayer, the students and fans have gathered in Austin. They burned red candles trying to put a hex on the Aggies. Meanwhile, last night in College Station, come on Aggies, I'm going to tell you a little story about how Yell practice goes, and it is particularly venomous when the opponent, the hated Longhorns of Texas, the swaying at Kyle Field, and it will be rocking tonight for the 118th meeting between these two. The third most played rivalry in college football, a little over 100 miles separating them physically, eons separating them from an approach standpoint and what they want out of college football in the future. Bevo, you saw him a few moments ago. His name came from a brand that was put on him and a prank in the rivalry by Texas A&M students. They put the 13-0 score on. Texas students changed it to Bevo. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, from our Thursday night family to you. Reese Davis, Craig James, Jesse Palmer, and Jen Brown will join us in just a little bit. Typically in a rivalry game like this, I would open by saying a victory could soothe a lot of wounds from a disappointing season. But the main disappointment here tonight is the fact that this rivalry is coming to a close. The official reason given will be conference realignment, the Aggies moving to the SEC. But in reality, this rivalry is coming to an end because of arrogance, insecurity, stubbornness, ego, and short-sightedness in many respects. And as you see the Longhorns make their way out onto the field, I think, Craig, the prevailing sentiment for all of us in college football, particularly Texans, is just sadness that it's coming to an end.
Really sad. I'm a fifth-generation Texan. I'm saddened by this. I listened to my grandparents talk about UT, about the T-Sippers. I heard Aggie jokes. I came here in 1977, watched Earl Campbell run for 222 yards against the Aggies. I was a young kid, man. This is a special thing for Texans. Right now, the higher-ups are punching each other in the mouth. Hey, I understand the Aggies. The Aggies saying, all right, TU, take your university and your Longhorn network and enjoy it. And I understand the Longhorns. All right, Aggies, see you later. Don't let the door hit you in the backside. I hope as a Texan that in the near future, calmer heads will prevail, and they'll put this thing back on the schedule.
Because of all of that, Craig, I think there's tremendous pressure tonight on these players to win this game. 95% of the players playing tonight hail from the state of Texas. They've either played alongside or against each other all through high school. And in rivalry games, bragging rights are always on the line, not just for players, but for their families, for their friends, anybody involved with this game, because we don't know the next time these two teams are going to play each other. There's tremendous pressure on these players. They understand that people are going to remember tonight's scoreboard for a very long time, and because of that, he who laughs last laughs the loudest.
You know, it's impossible, guys, to talk about this game without talking about the larger context in college football. But once they start playing on the field, Jesse, this is really a strength-on-strength matchup in some areas.
Texas A&M's offense has been very explosive. They're record-setting right now, and they're extremely balanced. And it starts with running the football. But they're going to be without their leading rusher, Cyrus Gray, tonight, who's out with a stress fracture in his shoulder. That's going to put tremendous pressure on senior quarterback Ryan Tannehill, not just to throw the football, he's going to have to run the football more as well, try to make up for that loss in production. Now, they're facing a Texas defense that I think has been one of the best three defenses in the nation over the last 4 games. They're very active, very aggressive. They feature 2 outstanding defensive ends, and Alex Okafor, Jackson Jeffcoat. Look for Texas to try and stop the run early, make Texas A&M one-dimensional, so they can pin their ears back and get after Ryan Tannehill.
Pin their ears back. Let me tell you what, So you talk about the strengths. Now let's talk about the weaknesses in this ball club. It would be the weakness being for Texas, their offense. They have not had a consistent offense this year. They don't have consistent play at the quarterback position. They can run the football. They want to take the pressure off of Case McCoy and David Ash. Now the Aggies on the other side of the football defensively have had a tough year. This is a football team that has fallen apart time and again with big leads. But the strength of their defense is the defensive line. So it'll be the strength of their defensive line against the running games of the Longhorns. We'll see who can prevail.
Perhaps you hear the strains of the Aggie war hymn in the background. So before everybody says goodbye to each other, we'll say howdy one more time to a great rivalry in Kyle Field tonight. Tonight from College Station, Kyle Field, home of the 12th man. We'll spend Thanksgiving night with you. With this for the moment, Big 12 showdown, Texas and Texas A&M. Jen Brown working down the field. She's with Longhorn head coach Mac Brown.
Thanks, Coach. A lot of talk about tonight's game being the final scheduled meeting between these two longtime rivals. What was your message to the team tonight?
Message, Jen, is we need to get win number 7. We're getting better. We're competing. We can't control what happens in this series. It's Thanksgiving. We want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Great atmosphere. Two teams that really like to play against each other, so this should be fun.
Let's talk about the atmosphere real quick. Kyle Field, noted for the 12th man. How do you help your quarterbacks, your young quarterbacks, handle the pressure of tonight's game in this environment?
We have a lot of silent counts because we've been over here before, so we understand this.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Jen.
Reese, Case is getting the start tonight.
That's right, Jen. Case McCoy will start the game at quarterback for Texas, and the Longhorns will get the ball first. The Aggies won the toss and they deferred. Mike Sherman in his 4th season as the head coach at Texas A&M. This has been a disappointing season for the Aggies, who are 6-5, 4-4 in the league. They have had a double-figure lead in every game except one this year. For their losses, they've blown double-figure leads in the second half. But the Aggies can make a lot of that go away if they can win tonight. Randy Bullock gets set to kick it away. Deep for the Aggies, Quandre Diggs and DJ Monroe. This will be Diggs. The give to Marquise Goodwin on the reverse. Goodwin, a track man with great speed. He gets out across the 20-yard line. Stop was made by Howard Matthews. And as mentioned, as Jen told us a moment ago, coming out first for the Longhorns at quarterback will be Case McCoy. He is Colt McCoy's younger brother, a sophomore from Graham, Texas.
We're going to see his backup, David Ash, situationally in this game as well. But Case McCoy is getting the start because this coaching staff believes he's the better game manager. He does not turn the football over. He's more calm. He must be great tonight with his decision-making against an A&M defense that will try and confuse him with pressure looks.
Freshman Malcolm Brown in the backfield, and Brown gets the first carry. And he picks up just a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8 as we take a look at the impact players.
David Ash is a 6'3", 222-pound true freshman quarterback. He's the better runner of the two quarterbacks. You'll see him in 2nd and long in short yardage situations as well as in the red zone tonight.
Yeah, but they've got to have the running game. You know that, Jesse. Malcolm Brown has to take the pressure off for whoever the quarterback is up front.
Eddie Brown Jr., defensive tackle. That is where the Aggies believe they have the advantage. You see him right over the freshman Dominic Espinoza, the center. We'll watch that matchup tonight. McCoy's first pass complete to Goodwin. Goodwin has absolutely nothing, thrown to the ground by Lionel Smith. It'll be 3rd and long.
When you talk to the Aggie coaching staff, they are quick to say, look, we've got talent and speed on defense. They just have at times been shell-shocked. So the challenge for Texas is to make them wonder and guess and get them in that mindset.
This A&M defense wants to win on 1st down. They've just now won on 2nd down as well, setting up 3rd and long. Texas, not a good passing team. This is where A&M likes to bring pressure. They blitz, bring 5 guys or more, 40% of the snaps in this game.
Backfield has been emptied for McCoy. Case scrambles around. He was trying to get it to Blaine Irby. It was knocked away by Stephen Jenkins, and 3 and out for the Longhorns in their first possession.
Tim DeRuiter, the defensive coordinator, decided on 3rd and long to that time, Jesse, just go with 3 on the rush and drop 8 and defend the 1st down marker. McCoy lucky not throwing that ball to someone.
It's a defense that's given up a lot of explosive plays, and I love the play call. Keep the football in front of you.
Justin Tucker punted away. Dustin Harris waves his arm for a fair catch and comes racing up across his own 40-yard line, and the Aggies will have excellent field position. They have an explosive offense. It is led by the senior quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, who statistically has put up great numbers this year.
And I think we all have great respect for Tannehill and what he's done. He's a former wide receiver. Everyone knows that he can run the football. And I think in this game tonight, with the absence of Cyrus Gray, that Ryan Tannehill is going to have to use his running ability with the zone reads of the quarterback plays to take up and make up for the ground game.
Cyrus Gray and Kristen Michael injured and lost for the season, so the running back behind Tannehill is Ben Molina. Tannehill fires, and just off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Jeff Fuller, and he's all-time leader in pass receptions, who's had a little bit of a star-crossed year. Jeff's had to battle a lot of injuries. Impact players now in the Aggies have.
Wide receiver Ryan Swope has become Ryan Tannehill's go-to guy. Expect him to work the middle of the field, double moves. They'll get him involved in the running game.
Oh, he is good, and Molina has to have a heck of a night. He's given his chance, let his light shine.
Molina gets into Texas territory, a good tough run, and he'll have enough for the first down.
Ben Molina is a very physical runner. Only 5'8", $195, but he's the guy this coaching staff wants to run between the tackles, puts his foot in the ground, gets north-south. You see that physicality, setting a tone for this offense early.
It's a tough guy to run over, too, and Emmanuel Acho, Texas leading tackler. Zone read, Tannehill's running it. Tannehill, who is a very good runner. You guys mentioned earlier he used to play receiver. Even this year quarterback, he has the longest run from scrimmage of any Texas Aggie. He went 65 against Oklahoma State.
Yeah, okay, so the Texas defense, they're mindful of that. They're expecting that. And talking with Dwayne Aquino, the secondary coach, longtime assistant, they're going to try to contain and keep him inside. That one there, they lost containment.
Tannehill got 9. Now Molina will have the first down, still churning those legs. He gets inside the 30. Acho again making the tackle, but not before the Aggies get another first down.
There's a great challenge for this offensive line to sustain blocks against what's a very fast and very athletic defensive front from Texas.
Yeah, you saw what that zone read did. It held the Texas defense on the outside. That time to contain, opened up the middle.
Tannehill to Fuller inside the 10, and Fuller's knocked out of bounds. It'll be first and goal for the Aggies.
See right here, the cornerback outside, number 23, Carrington Bynum. He's going to jump on Ryan Swope running to the flat, and that's what opened up Jeff Fuller down the sidelines. Nice job by Ryan Tannehill reading the coverage and getting it to the open receiver.
Texas has allowed just one first-quarter touchdown all season. Aggies trying to change that. Tannehill on the roll, firing. Molina stretching. Touchdown.
Ben Molina, we know he can run the football, but his hands, this catch right here, a very nice job getting up the field. That's just Ryan Tannehill carving up Texas's defense on that opening drive. And as you said, Brees, Texas has a very strong defense that doesn't give up a lot of red zone touchdowns.
A 6-play, 57-yard drive, and Randy Bullock knocks through the extra point. And the Aggies take good field position and march it right down against the stout Longhorn defense. As the fight song says, goodbye to Texas University. So on to the orange and white. Tannehill has him up a score. There are many houses and friends divided in the state of Texas, and many have likened the end of this series a little bit like a divorce. Some bitterness in some quarters. Kickoff. Drives Diggs into the end zone, and he unwisely brought it out. He's knocked down just over the 10-yard line, and Texas has had offensive problems. Now they have poor field position. First and 10 from the 12. Malcolm Brown Brown stood up before he can reach the 15, and another very short gain on first down leaves Texas with second and long.
This is a Texas A&M defense that really lacks confidence, and it started in the third game of the year against Oklahoma State. They held the Cowboys to only 3 points in the first half, gave up some explosive plays to Justin Blackman in the second half, and their psyche's been dented ever since. They started off now with a 3-and-out, another big play here, building some momentum here early for this D.
Second and 8 from McCoy. Aggies showing pressure, didn't really bring it, and you've heard this refrain a few times in Texas games. McCoy to Shipley. But this time it's Case to Jackson.
And Jackson Shipley, it's good for Longhorn fans to see him on the field. This is a very talented football player. A true freshman, has a real upside future here.
Suffered a knee injury against Kansas a few weeks back. They weren't sure if he was even going to be able to go tonight, but they need his ability working the zones in the middle of the field tonight against this A&M defense.
3rd and 3 after Jordan Shipley's little brother makes his first catch of the night. Case McCoy almost caught and then almost intercepted Coriel Judy, who's had his share of injury problems this year. Caught it off the deflection from Mike Davis, and another 3-and-out for the Longhorns.
Yes, it's a 3-and-out, but I tell you what, they've got to make these plays out on the outside. And Mike Davis has been a guy who has been dependable to this point. That's a big play guy. Got to finish that play.
Only a 32-yard punt last time from Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker averaging 40 yards a punt. Like to get a longer one than that, but he's not going to. Again, very high, very short. Dustin Harris makes a fair catch, and this time he has it in Longhorn territory. An excellent field position one more time for Texas A&M. 1st and 10. Tannehill going to throw on first down. Wachiku has it. And I think he'll have enough for another first down as they move the chains. We'll check in with Jen Brown.
Well, Reach, you guys talked earlier about Cyrus Gray and his stress fracture to his left shoulder. Let me tell you how bad he wanted to play tonight. All week long, he was pleading with Coach Sherman to let him play tonight, even including this morning during walkthrough. This is a guy he really wanted to play, but Sherman told me he wants to keep him out of the game for his health. And obviously, Ben Molina's been stepping up well.
And Molina steps up to catch the dump-off pass from Ryan Tannehill to pick up a couple. Carrington Bindum, Emmanuel Acho on the stop.
I think head coach Mike Sherman has used Cyrus Gray's situation as motivation for his team. His message all week was embrace this opportunity. He had Cyrus Gray talk to the team last night in a team meeting to make them understand how special this game is. Cyrus Gray would do anything to be out there with his brothers tonight.
On 2nd and 6. Tannehill still has it, and Tannehill goes down. He probably lost one. It's going to be 3rd and 7. Keenan Robinson had that one sniffed out.
All right, now this Texas defensive front over the last 4 games has been outstanding. Jackson Jeffcoat, he's been on a tear. Alex Okafor on the other side. They've been containing and getting to the quarterbacks. This is a football team who had 16 tackles for loss against Kansas State. They play on the other side of the ball. They need to pick the momentum up and help their offense.
It's important that Mike Sherman, as a play caller for Texas A&M, moves the launch point, moves the pocket. You do not want Texas pinning their ears back right behind center.
They're moving that launch point. Tannehill has to get rid of it. Swope came from out of bounds. Couldn't make the catch anyway. And it'll be 4th down and 7 as Robinson is applying pressure again.
And you know, they did move the pocket on the outside, but the speed and the way that Tannehill is going to get hit here, I mean, it gets pushed out of bounds. This is a nice job of getting to Tannehill and making him think about being hit.
One of the best linebacking tandems you're going to find in college football, Keenan Robinson and Emmanuel Acho. Man, they can deliver the pain.
Man, that hurt.
A 49-yard field goal attempt from Randy Bullock that is just 1 yard short of his career long. Bullock, a Groza finalist, puts it up, and he puts it through, and the Aggies have another score. A 10-0 lead for Texas A&M in the first quarter. Back here in Kyle Field, wish happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Reese Davis, Craig James, Jesse Palmer, and Jen Brown as Mike Sherman talking with his quarterback Ryan Tannehill. A&M's had great field position so far in the first quarter. They turned it into a touchdown and a field goal. They're up 10-0. Bullock drives Quandre Diggs into his end zone. Diggs this time will get across the 20-yard line. Out to about the 23. We just saw Ryan Tannehill take a big shot. Certainly that's not anything new in this series. Stephen McGee running the option for the Aggies with 2:32 to play in 2006, put it in, but Colt McCoy took a ton of shots in this game. He was carted off the field after a big hit. 20 seconds left. He raised his crowd to more than 89,000. In the waning moments, Jevin Sneed was picked off as Dennis Franchione's team won at 12-7, and very similar to some of the shots that Colt took. The one that Ryan Tannehill just took from Keenan Robinson. Give to Brown. He's hit in the backfield by Sean Porter. Porter, who's turned into a force in terms of sacking the quarterback and getting tackles for losses. Role's a little bit different on this defense. He was effective there.
Watch the Aggies come off the football. Look at the speed into the backfield. They're slanting, they're angling, and they're getting right back to the football. Sean Porter has really stepped up this season. We talked to him yesterday. He was excited about this game.
He's playing that joker position that Von Miller played last year. He leads the Big 12 in sacks. He's an edge pressure that Texas has to keep their eye on.
2nd and 14 as we go down to the final seconds of the first quarter here in College Station. Case McCoy throwing it for Goodwin. It'll be 3rd and 14 with 4 ticks remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, as this first quarter is coming to an end, if I'm Mac Brown on the sideline, I'm walking to my offensive line. And I'm telling my offensive line, fellas, we're on the road. We've got young quarterbacks behind you. We can't do anything unless you guys pick up the intensity and hold them out.
3rd in California. Don't expect pressure. Be very smart with the football here if you're Case McCoy. Don't press and try to force this football into a tight window and turn it over.
McCoy buying a little time. A throwback. Shipley has it. Still on his feet. Jackson Shipley knocked down at the 44-yard line, and the most productive offensive play of the night for the Longhorns comes on the final play of the first quarter.
I think Case McCoy's greatest attribute right now in his young career is his ability to scramble and create on the move. A little waggle to the right. He's got Jackson Shipley working a comeback throw. Very, very dangerous, ill-advised throw thrown across your body. But sometimes you have to just make plays, and there was a big-time play made between two very close friends and good teams.
Second quarter about to start here at Kyle Field. Texas trailing Texas A&M 10-0. The Longhorns just had a 27-yard completion from Case McCoy to Jackson Shipley, their best play of the night. Some great offense from these two guys over the years. John David Crow from Texas A&M and Earl Campbell from Texas. 1977, Earl won the Heisman Trophy. 20 years prior to that, John David Crow won it, the only Heisman Trophy winner in Bear Bryant's long career. John David still a fixture here in College Station. What a moment to see those two guys together on a night when the rivalry is coming to an end between the Aggies and Longhorns. 1st and 10, Case McCoy firing it deep down the field. Jackson Shipley was muscled out of bounds by Trent Hunter, and it was broken up. 2nd and 10.
Saw a big play a moment ago from Case McCoy, and in all honesty, Texas needs better play from the quarterback position. The Big 12 is a quarterback-driven conference. When you look at Landry Jones, Brandon Weeden, RG3, Colin Klein, if you're going to win games in this conference, you have to outscore the opponent's explosive offense.
At least on that play, we saw the offensive line give McCoy a chance. So maybe they can hold him up and see if he can step into it and get some rhythm going.
Texas has some good young running backs, not yet as productive as Earl Campbell we saw a moment ago. In Case McCoy is going to, well, I thought he was going to go down, but somehow Case got out of that, but he couldn't get away from Stephen Jenkins. It'll be 3rd and long again.
Well, so much for that holding him out. That was short-lived.
A&M leads the country in sacks. You figure they'll be coming again here. Texas tries to catch him napping on the run, and it is another tackle for loss. Demontre Moore, Sean Porter back there. 4th and 15, and the Horns will punt.
Yeah, a little excitement on the side, a little extracurricular activities, and you know, this Aggie defense has the ability and the potential, but that potential has so many times this season let their faithful down big time.
As we mentioned earlier, of the 5 losses that Texas A&M has had, they've had double-figure leads in the second half of 4 of those games. Not always just the defense. The offense has also had some costly turnovers, but the defense hasn't been able to come up with those clutch stops. Rugby-style punt. Harris will take it at his 20. Dustin's got a lot of room over here. Harris' legs started getting a little tired, it looked like, and Dustin Tucker there to run him out of bounds. Tremendous running by Dustin Harris, and the Aggies have tremendous field position again. Molina breaks a tackle. Molina down close to the 30-yard line, keeps those feet low to the ground and moving. Good pickup on first down.
You don't necessarily always have to block everybody in order to find positive yardage as a runner, Craig. A couple times tonight we've seen a lot of unblocked white helmets miss the young Ben Molina.
You got 5. Second down. Molina. This time he won't get away. Here to hit him first is Keyston Randall.
Yeah, and you know, you could tell that was going to be a run because the check came. Molina backed up a yard so he could be a little deeper from his approach to the line of scrimmage. And again, I can't stress enough how important this third down is for UT. Their defense has to step up and stop them here.
Swope in the slot up top.
A&M's yet to convert a third down. Blitz coming. Tannehill has it swatted right back in his face. Robinson, who got the 15-yard penalty, makes a big play on third down.
Texas doing a good job stemming their defensive front right before the snap to change up the protection calls for this young Texas A&M offensive line. Tannehill wanted to work slope at the top of the screen. Too many unblocked players and just good awareness, getting their hands up, knocked that ball down.
So Randy Bullock, who with his first field goal took sole possession of the single-season field goal record by hitting his 22nd one, will now go for a career long from 51 yards out officially. Bullock put it through.
Wow, that's into a slight breeze. We're talking about a foot now.
He is a finalist for the Lou Groza Award, and maybe doesn't quite kick it with the toe like Lou did, but the foot was pretty good. 51 yards out, and the Aggies have a 13-0 lead on a series finale, at least for the foreseeable future. You see some of the Corps of Cadets here at Texas A&M, which now is a completely voluntary organization. Wasn't always that way in Texas A&M history, but they are the keepers of the spirit. So many traditions here, and they also are the keepers of revelry. Agnieszka, who lives with the Corps of Cadets, she is the highest ranking cadet member. Randy Bullock, who got an extra yard officially added to his field goal to make it a 52-yarder. Drove his kickoff to the goal line. Wayne Diggs gets across the 20 to close to the 25. All right, Ryan, Longhorn offense needs to get something going. They have 1 first down tonight.
Aggies are balanced on defense. McCoy trying to decide which direction to go with this play.
Malcolm Brown, the freshman, gets up to the 28-yard line, 27-28-yard line. Pickup of about 4 on first down.
I give Texas A&M defensive coordinator Tim DeRuyter a lot of credit because he simplified this defense. At the start of the year, he wanted to mix and match personnel, try and disguise coverages. They got burned on a lot of explosive plays. Tonight, it's been a lot more vanilla, and his young players have really been able to respond.
Malcolm Brown, the wild horn formation, and He took the direct snap and got nothing. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
That's what they need to do, though. They have got to bring speed to the edge. They've got to get the Aggies to stop getting up the field and watching and wondering where the ball's going.
That Wildcat formation, I think, is the biggest part why this offense misses Fozzie Whitaker. Brian Harsin said probably the best Wildcat player he had ever seen. A big blow to this offense now, setting up about a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6.
Blitz coming. McCoy threw it into traffic. And it'll be 4th down, and for the 7th possession for the Longhorns tonight, it will send out the punter for the 7th time. Justin Tucker's been a busy guy.
Yeah, you just wonder there if Shipley has the strength in that leg. He's got a knee that he's been messing with, and you watch him in his cut. He's on that deal, spins to come. I just lost it, just slipped with his foot on the left. But as a player wearing a brace, I can tell you, it gets in your head with your cuts.
Tucker, a high short punt. Dustin Harris, now he touched him. He's got to get on it. That's a free football. That might be the first huge break of the night for the Longhorns. And it is Texas. After it touched Dustin Harris, a free football recovered by Jamison Berryhill. DeRuiter telling Harris, you have to clear out of there.
We call this Peter, Peter, Peter. At this point right here, you know you're not going to be able to catch the football. Wave everybody off and get away. I'll tell you, the sense of urgency when this finally hits him right there, just jump on the football instead of trying to pick it up. Yeah. That's a city live ball now.
But at least Texas was around the ball to make the play. Special teams has to pick up this offense. The defense has been doing its part.
But Texas, on its offense, had not moved the ball past its own 44, but after the miscue by A&M, they have it at the Aggie 41. Best chance of the night for the Horns. See what they can do with it. Jackson Shipley wanting to throw it. Got a wide open man into the open field. Blaine Irby, touchdown Longhorns. 41 yards, and how about the first touchdown of the night for Texas being scored by a guy that they thought might never play football again after he suffered a knee injury in 2008. He missed 2 seasons of football, didn't have feeling in his foot for almost that entire period of time. Mac Brown tried to get him to quit football so that he could live normally, and boy, what a memory for the senior tonight as he gets Texas into the game on the trick play. The muff from Dustin Harris set up the Longhorns, and Brian Harsin wasted no time dialing up a little trickeration. And Jackson Shipley fires it to Blaine Irby, and the Longhorns are back in it. Move brought to you by Mercedes.
Brian Harsin, the offensive coordinator, does an excellent job hiding guys with formations. Here's Blaine Irby at the tight end spot. When they throw it to Jackson Shipley, he's just going to waggle out into the second level like he's blocking. You see a lot of maroon jerseys that attack Shipley, and that allows him to get wide open in the back end.
He hasn't been able to make that call earlier in the game because the opportunity wasn't there. But immediately following the turnover, this was an ideal quick strike call by the offensive coordinator. You see it in a traditional sense most of the time by a quarterback who'll step back and throw the ball down the field. Texas doesn't have that ability. He had to use a little trickeration to make the play occur.
You know, Jackson Shipley, whose father's a high school coach, always wanted Jackson to play quarterback. He's now thrown it 3 times this season for Texas, completed all 3, and it's his 2nd touchdown pass. He also had one against UCLA. The Longhorns with the trick play after the miscue by the Aggies and the miscue by Dustin Harris, who has the ball now, back in it. And, rough go in the last couple of plays that Dustin Harris has been in. First, he muffed a punt or let a punt hit him, and then he took a big-time shot. The Aggies will try to regain a little bit of momentum. 1st and 10 from the 21 for Ryan Tannehill and the Aggies. Tannehill intercepted, a tremendous grab by Quandre Diggs, and turnovers have been a haunting thing for A&M all year. Now they have 2. in a matter of a few moments.
And this is the part of the football team where the Aggies defense all of a sudden becomes cautious. Ryan Tannehill tried to throw this ball and muscle it in there against a true freshman in Diggs, who really fell back and did a nice job of making the interception.
Diggs is playing cornerback outside. Tannehill looking for a seam throw down the middle, tried to back shoulder the throw to Malcolm Kennedy, but secondary coach Dwayne Akina does an outstanding job with these young cornerbacks. Every throw tonight for Ryan Tannehill has been contested. There have been no easy completions. Sudden change situation again now for this Texas A&M defense.
And they have it in Aggie territory at the 47. Texas trying to take advantage of a Quandre Diggs interception. Case McCoy back to Irby, who caught the touchdown pass. Blaine Chance, one tackle, and he lost the football, and the Aggies have it back. On top of it was Eddie Brown Jr.
Another excellent call by Brian Harsin, the offensive coordinator, to take advantage of a very aggressive defense you were mentioning, Jesse. But this is one of those deals. The ball probably in the wrong shoulder here. On the other hand, inside hand, a good throw by McCoy. You got to protect it. You got to know when your journey's over, and that's a fantastic job of Charlie Thomas beating the offensive line to get to the receiver.
How about the hit right here by Jonathan Stewart? Decleater. There are some blows, some bombs being dropped in this rivalry game tonight.
But the hit really didn't cause the fumble. Irby just had the nose up above his elbow, and he couldn't quite get it secured. And Molina will pick up a couple on first down.
That play right there helps on the muffed punt return. Now, can Ryan Tannehill, Jesse, Ryan Tannehill's got to get in this football game. I mean, he's doing terrible so far.
5 of 16 right now, Craig. He's got to find his rhythm. They got to get his confidence going again. Short completions, get him back in rhythm here midway through the second quarter.
He has in his first year as defensive coordinator at Texas. Tannehill finding Swope in a soft spot in that Texas defense. First down for the Aggies.
Yeah, and now the Aggies, they have this big play. They finally get Swope in the slot. He's uncovered. This is a breakdown in the secondary. They'll go quick cadence at the line of scrimmage. They'll move it quickly now.
2 easy completions in a row for Ryan Tannehill, and this offense finding its momentum again.
Picked up 19. The Aggies have it at the Horns 25. Tannehill toward the end zone. Fuller's out there. It's knocked away. Excellent coverage once again by Bynum.
We've been talking about sudden change, how Texas A&M's defense has had to deal with that early. Texas has been outstanding in this situation as well. You see on the outside, Jeff Fuller getting inside position on Carrington Bynum. You know, Bynum, a guy that played last year as a true freshman. He gets matched up on the other team's best receiver week in and week out. Tremendous challenge against him tonight.
Molina inside the 15. He's got another first down. Blake Gideon perhaps stopped him from scoring.
Now, what's impressive about this run from Ben Molina is that he runs past the arm tackles. Watch how he runs. It's going to be quick. And against this defense, you got to get past them. 2 arm tackles reaching out, but he ran beyond those.
Tannehill under a lot of pressure. Tannehill firing it. It's incomplete. Nate Askew, the intended receiver, though I'm not so sure that Tannehill wasn't just getting rid of it.
This is an area of the field Texas A&M has been outstanding at on offense this season in the red zone, scoring touchdowns on 70% of their red zone possessions. Generally, the best red zone teams are the ones that run the football the best. This is an area where Ben Molina really has to come up big.
Texas has been really good on defense in the red zone, and they're an excellent defense once you get down there around that goal line of shutting you down.
Longhorns 10th in the country in that regard. Here comes the pressure. Tannehill ducks under it. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and long. Keyston Randall, Emmanuel Acho were there.
4 of the last 6 years, Texas has sent an interior defensive lineman to the National Football League. This guy right here, Keyston Randall, he's going to be the next. Big 91, 6'5", 305 pounds. He's been dominating his individual battles up front tonight as well.
9th play of the drive coming. It's a 3rd and 9. well within Bullock's field goal range. Pressure. Tannehill throwing the fade. Fuller caught it. Did he stay in bounds? He did not. Incomplete. The tremendous hands by Jeff Fuller, but unable to stay in bounds as Carrington Bynum was on the cover.
Yeah, we've seen this before where Jeff Fuller, with his strong hands, is able to reach back and make plays. Ball goes, great call by the official.
Perfect.
If you're Ryan Tannehill, that's the guy you want to go to. Fuller 6'4", 220 pounds, just couldn't get the right foot down in time. I'll tell you, good coverage again by Bynum. Twice on that drive now. He's made big plays matched up against the best pro prospect at wide receiver for Texas A&M.
He leads the team. He now has 13 pass breakups on the season. I mean, the guy has played extremely well.
So Bullock, who has hit from 49 and 52, this time from 29. The chip shot, the kicked halfway to Lubbock.
That's a long ways. On a town now. That's 300 miles at least.
A&M stretches its lead to 16-7. Jen Brown is with the Aggies head coach Mike Sherman.
Thanks, Reese. Coach, a couple of penalties, a couple of turnovers. How do you get things going back on offense there in the second half?
Well, we just have to settle down. The big penalty put us in 2nd and 20 right there. It was tough to overcome. We're fortunate that we didn't give up points there. But we'll settle them down at halftime and we'll get it going.
You've had several games where you haven't had much luck protecting leads. How do you guard against that in the second half here?
Well, you just got to play. You know, I mean, you can't make a big deal about it because it's in their head. You just got to play the second half. These kids are excited about playing this football game, and they'll be looking forward to the second half.
All right, thanks, Coach. Reese?
All right, Jen, Mike Sherman told us yesterday it wasn't a loss of confidence when his team has blown those leads. It's been pressing to try to make a play. What kind of pressure can Texas put on A&M in the second half? Both teams have applied plenty of big licks to each other. 16-7 at the break. Time to join Mark May, Lou Holtz, and Ryan Burr with the Walmart halftime report. And just a few moments ago at halftime, the show band of the Southwest from the University of Texas spelled out thanks Texas A&M and then played thanks for the memories. There certainly have been a lot of great memories in this long and storied rivalry, and we talked before the game about it being a sad night, that it's coming to an end, at least for the foreseeable future. Reese Davis, Craig James, Jesse Palmer, Jen Brown working down on the field. But if you're going to have some memories, certainly there were some in the first half for both defenses, Jesse.
Yeah, I think they've both been very dominant so far in this game. They're doing a tremendous job getting the opposition off the field. Both teams right now combined for only 2 of 17 on 3rd down. We've only seen one big explosive play, a touchdown by Texas on a trick play. I'm interested to see which offense in the second half can find big plays, explosive plays. Which ones can stay on the field, sustain drives, to score points. This game does not feel like it's going to be a shootout.
The best player on the field with the most experience offensively certainly is Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill has to step up if he wants to lead these Aggies to a final victory in this showdown.
And Tannehill and his offense will have the ball first. Dustin Harris turning the kickoff, and Harris knocked down about the 20. He had a key play in the first half. Time to take a look at our coaching adjustments brought to you by Home Depot.
All right, so how do the Aggies avoid a defensive letdown in the second half? It has to come in the hands of Ryan Tannehill. He is the most experienced player out here. They've got to get Tannehill going. In the first half, only 7 of 22. That's not getting it done.
Craig, he's had his success when he's been outside the pocket, throwing on the run, or in the 3-step game. They have to continue that strategy here in the second half. He'll, of course, have to continue being involved in the zone read game and on quarterback draws to help out this running game, missing Cyrus Gray in the lineup.
Tannehill has really struggled after starting pretty well. 4 of his first 7 with a touchdown pass, but he's hit just 3 of 15 cents. Tannehill firing again, and Tannehill, after that ball was tipped, Kenny Vaccaro got a hand on it. Probably lucky that Diggs didn't pick it and take it into the end zone.
Yeah, to finish your thought on that, Jeff Fuller, I mean, Fuller and his dad and Mike Sherman got together and they talked about whether or not he should come back and for his senior season. There's a lot of expectations that were placed on Fuller's shoulders, but because of the injuries, he's just not been able to come through with all those expectations.
He spent some time this summer working with Larry Fitzgerald, too, the Cardinals, but it hasn't been the type of senior season he expected. Molina on the ground, and Molina slips one tackle, and Keenan Robinson. Now Robinson's going to get his second big penalty of the night, and that one was completely unnecessary. Earlier, he was called for throwing Tannehill to the ground, and when he hit him after it was thrown, and this time he's going to get
personal foul, horse collar tackle on a defense number 1. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Keenan Robinson saying he just grabbed the outside of the jersey, but you have to understand, if you make this tackle out of bounds, it's now 3rd and long. Texas A&M hadn't yet converted to 3rd down in the first quarter.
He did get the collar.
Right there.
He did get the collar.
Craig, I don't know. Look at this again. I think it's the back of the jersey.
Well, it's a collar.
He's got it around his numbers.
Yeah, I don't think the numbers.
I think it's the last. Yeah. I know they called horse collar. I don't think he gets the call if he doesn't make the last sling. At any rate, it's a mistake, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Aggies. Molina hit in the backfield again. It's Robinson. They've had a hard time keeping Robinson out of the backfield.
I think this defense over the last 4 weeks has found their confidence. They're starting to figure out Manny Diaz's defense, and as a result, they're playing more confidently. At least linebackers, Keenan Robinson, Emmanuel Acho playing downhill. As a result, they've averaged 14 tackles for loss the last 4 games. Per game.
Tannehill intercepted. Going the other way is Bindum. Started to lateral it, and now he won't have to. There is a flag down on the field at midfield as Bindum takes it in for the touchdown. Let's see what the call is. Diaz believing it's holding on A&M. Let's see if the referee, Scott Novak, agrees with him.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on the offense. Leg whip, number 70. Penalties decline.
So it was not holding, but it was another penalty on Cedric Ogbuehi, and Texas gets the pick 6, and the Longhorns, with the extra point, will cut it to 2.
I thought that Tannehill really stared down his receiver. He's at the left, he's at the left, he stayed left and hard with it, and Fuller wasn't able to come back inside hard to fight for the football.
Bynum is winning the one-on-one matchup with a much bigger, more physical Jeff Fuller. That's the 80th non-offensive touchdown for Texas since 1999, second most in the nation.
A 58-yard pick 6. Tucker puts it through, and this may be the final installment of this great rivalry for the foreseeable future, but it looks as if we're going to have a barn burner coming down the stretch. Carrington Bindum with the pick. He said goodbye to A&M, 58 yards worth to draw the Horns to within 2. The Longhorns have 14 points off of 3 Aggie turnovers as Carrington Bindum has the pick 6. And though A&M didn't have the double-figure lead in the second half, they were up by 9, and this is falling right in the line. Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas State, all double-figure leads that were blown. We talked to Mike Sherman about this. It's following the script again, guys. Kickoff. Tucker. He got the extra yardage on a penalty, and he drives it out of the back of the end zone, and the Aggies will try to get themselves together at the 20-yard line. And Sherman said that those blown leads, miscue by the offense, then guys start pressing, and you feel like the Aggies are starting to work into that position right now.
The fear is right now, if you're Mike Sherman, your football team creating that mentality of, uh-oh, here we go again. If I'm Ryan Tannehill, if I'm Sean Porter, the leaders on this offense and defense, get your guys together. Hey, we can stop this right now, but we got to take control.
This is where they really miss a Cyrus Gray, a Christian Michael that can get in there and run the ball with consistency, give the offensive line some confidence.
Keenan's had a couple himself tonight. Molina caught the quick pass, and Emmanuel Acho was there, knocked him down immediately. Molina.
This Texas defense looks suffocating right now. Again, every pass is being contested. There are not a lot of windows to throw in. Pressure up the middle. Not a lot of push off the line of scrimmage from A&M's offensive line.
Molina barely got it back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Tannehill firing. Tried to go back shoulder to Wachiku, and Wachiku couldn't hold it. 3rd and 10.
Yep. When the Aggies are doing well offensively, they have a rhythm and a tempo. It's to the line of scrimmage. They're not as fast as a Texas Tech or a Clemson or some teams like that, but they're moving and they're putting pressure on defense.
But they're making too many mistakes, Craig, and we've seen exactly what Mike Sherman talked about. Turnovers and untimely drops. A giant drop there from Wachiku. This is that radar look Manny Diaz likes. Nobody down in a three-point stance right now, disguising where the rush is coming from.
Yeah, Tannehill being smart, being slow with the count.
And they'll try to get him to tip their hand. He drops it off underneath to Molina, and Molina is stopped short of the first down. Acho making the tackle. Tannehill's now just 12 out of 31 tonight against this Texas pass defense, and the Longhorns are about to get it back.
But a nice job there by the Aggies offense of getting the ball up towards midfield, because their defense right now is going to have to bail this offense out.
Bad job by Reggie Wilson to help him too with that 15-yard penalty.
Yep.
Diggs from his 10. Diggs. Does he have enough speed? Quandre Diggs inside the 30, inside the 20, and dragged down just inside the 10-yard line. Malcolm Kennedy saved the touchdown. Major Applewhite fired up, and so too are the Longhorns. A tremendous punt return by Quandre Diggs.
This ball,
81 yards on the return.
This ball is punted right in the middle of the football field and deep. You want to pin them one side or the other. It gives plenty of options for that punt returner and spreads out the coverage unit.
Quandre Diggs, one of those outstanding young cornerbacks, also making his presence felt tonight on special teams, setting up the football inside the 10-yard line. Wouldn't be surprised here soon if we see David Ash back in at quarterback.
Aggie defense rallying the crowd. Malcolm Brown. Brown knocked down by DeMontre Moore. Terrence Frederick also on the stop.
I tell you who else I wouldn't be surprised to see come in the game now. Cody Johnson, get him in there. Get the big guys in where they can run that wildcat and put the fear of east and west. Jet sweeps on this Aggie defense. Open up the middle.
Johnson just went to the sideline. Second down and goal from the 8. Longhorns need to turn that big return into a touchdown. Aggies trying to stop him. DJ Monroe's in motion. Monroe has it. Monroe makes one miss. He is knocked out of bounds by Jonathan Stewart. Third and goal coming.
Lots of speed on this Texas A&M defense, able to run sideline to sideline. Critical down in a sudden change situation. If they could only give up a field goal here, that is a giant win for the home team.
But Mac Brown's sitting there thinking, don't make a mistake, because 3 points and the lead, as well as our defense is playing, is a big situation.
Tony Jarrett-Eddy just getting onto the field late for Texas A&M. Getting a defensive call from his teammates.
Aggie's a little confused on getting lined up right.
Mike Davis one-on-one at the bottom of the screen.
Case McCoy fires to the outside for Shipley. He couldn't quite haul it in. It'll be fourth down.
I like the idea by Brian Harsin trying to run a fade from the slot position. It's not Mike Davis outside. It's Jackson Shipley. Now this ball thrown exactly where quarterbacks are taught to throw it on fade throws. You throw it to the corner in that pylon, at least giving your receiver an opportunity, a tough catch. Nonetheless, an opportunity to take the lead.
Big job, great job by the Aggies, though, to hold on that sudden big play.
From 23 yards out for the first lead of the night for the Longhorns. Justin Tucker puts it up, and he puts it through, and the Horns have taken the lead about halfway through the third quarter. Texas on top, 17-16. Aggies will try to get it going when you come back. A&M has let second half leads get away all season. Can they save themselves this time? On the return is Lionel Smith, and Smith doesn't even make it to the 15. And now an Aggie offense has been struggling, has horrible field position. On second and 13, only 3 rushing. Tannehill throwing it, it's intercepted again if he held it. Kenny Vaccaro wearing Fozzie Whitaker's jersey, and the Aggies are melting down in front of our eyes.
Here's an example of Ryan Tannehill pressing and forcing the football into coverage. He's trying to work a comeback route to his left side to Jeff Fuller. Vaccaro did an excellent job getting out under the route. That ball should have never been thrown. And a great job by Vaccaro getting a foot down in bounds to create yet another turnover.
You know what, though? We have seen several times now throwing to Jeff Fuller where he has not had the ability to plant, cut, get back in. That's a nice job of getting Vaccaro that foot in bounds. A tremendous play.
McCoy. Case in a lot of trouble, and now he gets away. Case McCoy down to the 20-yard line. He made a little something out of nothing before Jonathan Stewart shoved him out of bounds.
Case McCoy did what Ryan Tannehill did not the previous play. Everything downfield was covered. Very early in his drop, he decided, I'm tucking it. I'm not going to force it. Let's try and scramble and make something positive happen.
I tell you what he did for me. It was a flashback to a Colt McCoy play. Scrambling, making something, avoiding a big-time sack. Big Brother's probably proud of him right now.
2nd and 7 for the Longhorns. Marquise Goodwin on the end around. Goodwin close to the first down marker before he's shoved out of bounds.
We talk about how multiple the running attack is of Texas. Lining up in different formations, shift motions, wildcat packages, personnel packages. Marquise Goodwin, a wide receiver. They find ways to get everybody involved, trying to set that edge.
Cody Johnson's the guy they need to get involved right now. 3rd and 1. The big fella, 252 pounds.
That was the longest run of the night for Texas, 6 yards. Johnson direct snap. Johnson moving the pile and moving it inside the 15, inside the 14. And the Longhorns will have the first down.
You know, early in this ball game, the Aggie defensive line was getting great penetration, playing beyond the line of scrimmage. If you're going to stop a guy like Johnson on short yardage, you got to have penetration. You can't let him get the body going down the hill.
Longhorns have sent David Ash in at quarterback. Ash a little more powerful runner, bigger guy than McCoy.
They get that +1 advantage in the running game when it's the quarterback carrying the football, an additional blocker.
Ash almost to the 10-yard line, knocked down at the 11. Tony Jarrett-Eddy on the stop. It'll bring up 2nd down and about 8.
That's been the Achilles heel of this Aggie defense against the run is the inside. Jonathan Stewart is a good linebacker, but he's had toe injuries. He's had to deal with a lot of that.
Mack watching the side as Case McCoy's return to quarterback. Mack's almost down in a stance. Big series here for the Horns, looking at 2nd and 8. After the timeout, Malcolm Brown into the secondary. The freshman driving toward the end zone. He got the first down. They're going to mark him down just short of the goal line, but it'll be 1st and goal. Steven Terrell got run right over.
When Brian Harsin took over as the offensive coordinator at Texas, he promised they would be an attitude running team with power plays. This power with the weak side guard pulling is the epitome of what this running game wants to be. And a true freshman, Malcolm Brown, doing a nice job pushing north-south. Looks like that elbow gets down right before the goal line.
Going right back to the same spot over that right guard, right tackle.
On 1st and goal. And going in is Cody Johnson, the big load, and another touchdown off a turnover for the Longhorns.
This offensive line is feeling it and smelling it, and the Texas players, a young team, has woken up based on some big plays through special teams and others.
And all of the energy has just left Kyle Field. All of the momentum right now on the side of the Texas Longhorns as you see 252-pound Cody Johnson getting low to the ground for that score. His 35th career rushing touchdown.
Only needed to go 24 yards after the Vaccaro interception, and a spectacular one it was. And the Longhorns have a 24-16 lead. You see McCoy all fired up.
When you consider the way Texas has been playing defense here in the 2nd half of this game, you got to be loving where you're sitting if you're Mack Brown and you're the Texas Longhorns.
I don't think that Aggie's loving where he's sitting right now.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Better for him in the first half.
17 unanswered points, but the Aggies, they go in the big picture. It's only a 1-possession game. Dustin Harris on the return. Harris trying to keep his feet. Dustin Harris with a tremendous return across the 40-yard line, and A&M will have good field position. They can do absolutely nothing running the football. Keyston Randall hit Ben Molina. He almost took the handoff from Tannehill.
See Ryan Tannehill's season numbers versus what he's done tonight. And I said it at the start of the show, guys. I know we talk about Alabama and LSU's defenses. Texas's defense at this point in the season is at least a top 3 defense in the country. They have a way of making very good quarterbacks look very pedestrian.
Since they've gotten comfortable in Manny Diaz's high-energy scheme, they have been dominant. Tannehill hit as he throws, but he got rid of it and he got it complete. And Jackson lunged for the first down marker, and believe they're going to give it to him based on the official, and they are. It's a first down for the Aggies. The 118th meeting between Texas A&M, last one for a while, and 15 minutes more will decide it. Fourth quarter about to start here at Kyle Field. I want you to soak up the atmosphere of this rivalry here. Texas a 24-16 lead. As you watch this moment and watch this passion in this stadium, Texas A&M's got every right to go to the SEC, and Texas has every right to have its own network. But the fans have a right to deserve this rivalry. Tannehill firing. A short gain. Nehemiah Hicks making his first grab of the night. It'll get it just inside the 35. It'll be third down and 5.
And this is what Texas A&M has to do. They have to continue moving the pocket, moving the launch point, so this Texas defense does not know where to aim.
Okay, Ford to the top up there.
It's a lot of man-to-man across the board. Cat and mouse. Texas will audible out if Texas A&M audibles.
Third down. Tannehill fire complete. First down. Ryan Swope, who's been very quiet tonight. A big third down conversion.
Swope's the guy that Tannehill has leaned on throughout this football season. The records have fallen as a result on the receiving end, but you see the option route. That's the bread and butter play of this Aggie offense.
Now from the 28 with a first down. Aggies down 8. Tannehill into the middle. It's complete and inside the 15 and pushing down toward the 10 is Jeff Fuller, the senior.
I think Ryan Tannehill, having played wide receiver, gives him a very unique perspective on these other receivers. He understands which guys run the best routes. Offensive line doing a nice job picking up the stunts and games up front. There's the strong hands by Jeff Fuller on a football thrown a little bit behind.
Jake Matthews on that last play did an outstanding job of pushing Alex Okafor up the field, allowing that play to be developed.
Back to the ground with Molina and nothing doing. Hit in the backfield immediately was Ashton Dorsey making the tackle. Another of those Texas defensive linemen.
He's a backup tackle. You're going to see him right inside. Watch him as they try to go power and pull the backside guard. Just beats the right guard. Quickness, power off the line of scrimmage. There's another backup player making a big play on this Texas front.
That's technique. You know what? Brian Thomas is the right guard. He's blocking down. He's sealing that area, and he overstepped. It was poor technique. You gotta maintain your responsibilities.
Man-to-man, Jeff Fuller at the bottom of the screen.
Tannehill firing to the end zone. He overshoots Randall Jackson. It'll be 3rd and 14.
Randall Jackson has the best hands on this receiving core, and it's a nice job by Tannehill extending the play. He wanted to work the bottom of the field. Fuller double covered. That's a catch they got to make, Craig.
Absolutely. This is a play where this offense, with all of the prowess that they have through this season, if Tannehill can buy time like that, it's been pitch and catch most of the time.
3rd and 14. The Aggies can get a first down at the 1-yard line. Down 8. Headed towards 6 minutes to go. Tannehill to the corner and nobody there. Aggies looking for a flag. And none coming. It'll be 4th and 14 and the field goal unit is headed out.
Manny Diaz making more adjustments as this game goes on. They're now double covering Jeff Fuller and bracketing him, taking him away as an option. from Ryan Tannehill. Now, Mike Sherman's going to have to make the adjustments with his play calling to start targeting Ryan Swope, Wachaku, and Brandel Jackson more often.
Randy Bullock knocks through his 4th field goal of the night, this one from 32. So Texas A&M trims 3 off the lead, a 5-point edge for the Longhorns. About this rivalry having 5 minutes and 56 seconds left. You think back to 1999 and the great compassion that Texas showed for the 12 people who were lost and were killed in that bonfire tragedy, and how it brought the two schools close together. And all of that sort of, at least on the surface, been washed away by the fighting over conference affiliation and networks and who's leaving and whether they'll continue to play, in which they're not planning to at any point in the future, at least until 2018, it said. So we have 5:56 remaining here in Kyle Field. So now the ball's at the 35, and Texas with a first down. Direct snap to Brown. Malcolm Brown will pick up maybe 2, 2nd and 8.
Talk about the pressure for Texas players to win this game. All players. There's a big game for Texas head coach Matt Brown. After going 5-7 a year ago, if they were to lose tonight and lose next week against Baylor, that's 6-6. That does not sit well with all of the boosters, with all the alumni, considering he's the highest paid coach in college football.
In other words, they don't pay him $5 million plus a year to come in at 6-6. No, I agree.
Noise deafening as Brown pushes close to the 40-yard line. A 3rd down coming as the clock winds down toward 5 minutes.
Conversely, for Mike Sherman, a big important football game as well. This is a team who came in with expectations of having an outstanding season. It has not happened. Having the Longhorns come here on their home turf, really important game for Mike Sherman as well.
Got to anticipate pressure here now. If you're Case McCoy, I like them moving the pocket, give them a pass run option.
You better not move it to the right side, because Sean Porter's down there on the right side.
And now Terrell's coming on the blitz, and Porter hits him just as he lets it go, and the ball is incomplete. It'll be 4th down, and A&M will get it back.
I'd run the ball there. Keep the clock rolling. I mean, every second matters in this deal. And Sean Porter, as soon as I saw him walk up on the field, you knew that he had the ability and the speed to force an errant throw.
This game will now fall on the shoulders of Ryan Tannehill, as expected.
Tucker, another high, short punt. Dustin Harris comes up. And the Aggies holding their breath for a moment before he caught it at 32.
Texas A&M's wide receivers right now have to win. If they're going to be pressed man-to-man, they're as good a trio as anyone in the nation. It's time to step up.
Blitz coming. Tannehill firing for Fuller. Fuller got it! Inside the 40, it's a first down for the Aggies.
In order for that to happen, though, Jesse, they have to step it up on the offensive line. That offensive line has to give Tannehill the time to throw. You see the great job Jake Matthews on the outside right side, allowing the back shoulder throw.
That's the first explosive play in the passing game for Texas A&M tonight, deep downfield. Jeff Fuller winning against Adrian Phillips. That's the chemistry. They need plays like that on this drive. Your best players have to make big plays when big games are on the line.
29 yards on that pickup. Tannehill. Great pickup by Molina on the blitz. Fuller deep downfield, and it was almost intercepted by Phillips. What a block by Molina in pass protection.
Oh, he did. He stepped up, and this bought the time to throw the ball deep down the field. They had the single coverage over there. The bracket was on the other side against Ryan Swope, and this is just a heck of a job. Again, once again, a backup, Adrian Phillips, in there doing this. Secondary has played fantastic in this game.
They've been so deep. They've had contributions from everybody at all 3 levels of the field. Man-to-man again.
To the ground. Molina Burst into the secondary. He's inside the 30-yard line. It looks as if he's going to be about a yard short of the first down, so the clock will continue to move.
Ben Molina has a bright future in front of him. The sophomore's got quick feet and a good burst, and he runs past arm tackles. We've seen him do it time and again in this ball game.
Ryan Thomas doing a nice job sealing that gap on the pull.
3rd and 1. Molina, first down. Before he's wrapped up. And this passion play heads toward 3 minutes. Texas clinging to a 5-point lead in the Aggies, desperately driving to go on top.
You can feel the momentum now back on the side of Texas A&M. All 3 timeouts left. That's an eternity here with under 3 minutes to play.
Keep in mind the Texas Longhorns, the top 10 team in the country in the red zone defense. When they get close to the goal line, they stiffen up.
6 yards away from the red zone, 26 from the end zone for Tannehill. Tannehill firing, Fuller's out there, and it's broken up. Bindum, again, who's had a fantastic night.
It's very difficult for quarterbacks to complete streak routes when the wide receiver takes an inside release and stays inside. That's exactly what Jeff Fuller did. It allows Blake Gideon to get involved with that play. Ryan Tannehill trying to protect the throw, throwing it back outside. These corners doing a good job taking the outside away.
I'll tell you what's changed dramatically now is the offensive line is allowing Tannehill to throw the football down the field.
Tannehill steps up, throwing. Swope was really tangled up with Vaccaro. Crowd wanting a flag, and they're not going to get it. It's going to be 3rd down and 10.
At the start of the season, I would have told you Jeff Fuller, Ryan Swope, Uzoma Wachiku was one of the best 3 trios of wide receiver in the entire nation. The secondary from Texas has won that battle.
That's pass interference. You can't put your hand in the middle of the chest of the wide receiver. Pass interference, they blew that call.
Crowd was right. They saw it, they reacted. Vaccaro got away with it, wearing Fozzie Whitaker's number 2 tonight. He has an interception earlier. Manny Diaz, the defensive coordinator. What does he have dialed up? Tannehill going to try to run it himself. Ryan's got good speed. He's inside the 20, and Tannehill is very close to the first down. And where they're coming in to mark it will depend on the spot and the measure. No, they're giving it to him. First down, Aggies. A big run from Tannehill, a guy we thought we'd see run more tonight.
Absolutely, Reese. We thought they would because Cyrus Gray's not here. We felt like that Tannehill would run the ball and use that athleticism to be a difference maker.
That time, Manny Diaz only brought 3 players in the rush. They tried some loops and some stunts. Tannehill using his athleticism to get outside. He's going to have to use that athleticism here in the red zone.
Inside 2 minutes. Tannehill, Fuller over the middle. Fuller inside the 5. Fuller for the end zone. Touchdown.
Texas has gone to zone defense tonight. The middle of the field has been wide open. That's where Texas A&M has been able to make their most hay in the passing game. Critical call right now. With a tremendous effort by Jeff Fuller.
Not in the clubhouse yet, but they take the lead this time, 25-24, the 2-point conversion coming.
Jesse, you're a quarterback. Would you rather have the fade route or Ryan Swope running an option route?
You know, I was just thinking, Craig, you take the big guy, Jeff Fuller, outside in a one-on-one matchup, or you try to move the pocket, maybe get a pick for Ryan Swope. I like both, to be honest. Right now, the fade is being presented to Jeff Fuller.
Tannehill running by in time. Ryan firing into traffic, and it's no good. So now, with the failed 2-point conversion, if Texas can get into field goal range, the Longhorns would have a chance to win it.
After giving away another second-half lead, the growth for Mike Sherman's football team, if they could come up with a stop here on defense, and a massive win against an in-state rival like Texas.
This kickoff, the coverage, the return blocking. You talk about focus in practice when it comes down to a game like this, a game of field position, Get your block. Make your coverage. Stay in your lane.
Randy Bullock, 31 touchbacks heading into tonight's game. Very, very strong leg. They need that right now for field position.
And we've seen him drive kickoffs into the end zone tonight, and he needs to do it here for the Aggies. Bullock puts a foot to it. A return opportunity from the 1 for Diggs. Diggs a little seam. And a big-time tackle by Howard Matthews. Stops it at the 30. That's where Case McCoy and the Horns will have it.
Here's what I got in my mind, and it's in the minds of Longhorns and Aggies everywhere. Whatever the final score is, that team who loses will have to live with it for a long time.
Clock running. McCoy firing, and he almost had Davis, and a hit after the ball goes by, and I think they're going to get a personal foul on the Aggies.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on the defense on the play. Helmet to helmet targeting. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Ball thrown out just in front of the outstretch. I got it, guys.
What?
Why?
Come on.
Why?
Yeah.
Why right there?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a little nudge with his helmet to helmet,
Yeah.
but he easily could have blown him up.
Yeah.
I mean, he laid off. That's not a good
He laid
call.
off. Terrible call.
Wow.
And they called it on 5, but it was 1, Trent Hunter, as we said. So 1st and 10, a big break for the Horns. And a controversial call. McCoy fires to Shipley. Shipley's knocked out of bounds by Coriel Judy.
The officials are not supposed to become a significant part of a football game. It's a violent game. It's an intense game. It's a rivalry game.
You see Justin Tucker warming up. Season-long 52-yard field goal, which means Texas would have to get to the opponent 35-yard line for a 52-yard attempt here. 2 timeouts to go. That's a lot of time.
There's their own 41 right now. McCoy fires, complete. Going to stop, mark him just short of the first downs here marker, so the clock's going to keep running. Texas had to burn a timeout and some confusion earlier in the half. Inside a minute to go, 3rd and 1. Got to pick up the first down first. McCoy fires, complete, first down. Out there to make the catch is Anye Boule, who threw an interception on a trick play earlier tonight.
Tim DeRuyter's been rushing 3 and not putting pressure on McCoy. McCoy's making him pay for it right now. And with them only needing about 15 yards to get into field goal position, you may want to change that up and come with at least 4.
It's becoming sandlot football right now for Case McCoy, Craig. He's able to just kind of scramble around, find open guys. That's his comfort zone.
The 12th man bringing noise. Wrecking Crew trying to bring heat. McCoy scrambling. A lot of room in front of him. Case McCoy inside the 25. McCoy still on his feet, and the Horns are in field goal range.
I just had a flashback to his older brother, Colt McCoy, on a long touchdown run in this stadium 2 years ago against Texas A&M. Right here, nice job finding the seam, keeping his eyes downfield. Right now, get down on the ground, ball security. You are in field goal range.
And now it's 1st and 10 from the Texas A&M 23-yard line. 27 seconds remaining. Goodwin end around. He's knocked down immediately. Clock's going to continue to run. Demontre Moore on the tackle. Inside 20 minutes, or 20 seconds, I should say.
So if you're Brian Harsin, you got to think about which hash do you want this ball spotted for your kicker, Justin Tucker. Which side does he like it on? Do you like it right down the middle? In which case, you have to call the next play to center this football to give him his best opportunity to win the game.
Tucker is 38 of 44 in his career. He hasn't necessarily had to make any high-pressure kicks during his time as the Texas place kicker.
Expect the power play here.
On the ground, Cody Johnson is tackled. And Justin Tucker gets set as the clock continues to wind, and they're waiting to call the timeout. Texas has 1 left.
How appropriate is this, ending this rivalry, when you've got it coming down to a walk-off kick one way or the other, and that they will talk about that in this state for years and years.
It is going to be devastating for whoever comes out on the short end of this game. But what tremendous effort we've seen from both Texas A&M and Texas in this final game of the rivalry. The players are caught up in the middle of this. They have no say in whether they're going to play or not, but they have gone out and put their hearts out on that field tonight and provided great theater.
This is the only way you'd anticipate a game like this and a rivalry like this finishing temporarily. These rivalry games, Craig, as players, we love them because you throw all the statistics, all the records out the window. These are great competitive matchups, and this one coming right down to the wire.
Mike Sherman can hardly bear to look. Justin Tucker from 40 yards out for the game. It's up. The Longhorns win it.
Something so simple as a snap, a hold, and a kick. It's worked on time and again in practices. Tucker drills it right down the middle.
What about the play of Case McCoy on this final drive to set that up? The jubilant Mac Brown, understanding how big of a win this was for his team, for the university, for his career. Case McCoy making big plays, throwing the football on that final drive, the monster run late to get his offense into position to kick a game-winning field goal after getting beaten up all game long, and Mike Sherman feeling beat up. This is a loss that will stick with him and the Texas A&M faithful for a very long time.
The jubilation you see from Justin Tucker, and I'm sure still some excitement being felt by Texas head coach Mac Brown, who's with Jen Brown.
Coach, tell me what was going through your mind as Tucker lined up to make that kick.
Oh, Jenny makes them all the time. He's one of the most accurate kickers in the country and the most in, I think, in Texas history. So we felt like we put him in the middle, had to strain up front. What a great game. Give Texas A&M credit. This is the way a rival game should end up.
Tell me about your quarterback, Case McCoy, his ability to make that final drive down, the composure. What did you think of his play there on that final series?
I thought he learned a lot from last week in the Kansas State game, and this time he knew that he had a chance to do that. He looked like his old brother.
We talked about the rivalry. We've been talking about it for a while, ending tonight for a bit at least. What does this win mean to the program?
Well, I think it's huge. Number one, Jen, because it's our 7th win. And we're starting over, and we got so close last week. We didn't play very well at Missouri, and we didn't need to lose this one close tonight. We needed to have some, as you can see, some happy kids getting ready to go home for Thanksgiving.
Congratulations, Mac.
Thanks, Jen.
Reese?
All right, Jen, and one of the